Hello, Algebra 1. In response to the most common question I've got on QM1, we're going to talk about a strategy for taking care of two-step word problems. All right, so let's take a look at what we got. It says steps to solving two-step word problems. So is that 7 steps? If we got 5 here in this two-step equation, I don't know, whatever it is, we got some steps. We have, don't think of these as super rigid things. Think of these as the thought process is what you need to go through to be successful. Sometimes you can do these in your head, but right now while you're practicing, write some of these things out. So it says, step 1, read the problem carefully. Underline any key information. I like that. Number 2, define your variable. Tell me, what does your variable mean? What is the thing that you don't know? Number 3, write the equation. Number 4, solve the equation. And number 5, check your answer. Number 1, plug it back in. Make sure you know you did the math right. Number 2, though, what you want to do is make sure, does it make sense? Like in this first one, it's talking about depositing in weeks. You're probably not going to get negative time. So things like that to look out for. Let's take a look at this then. Let's just go ahead and go through this. Example 1, Nick opens a savings account with $50. Each week after, he deposits $15. In how many weeks will he have saved $500? Now, a common strategy that you guys like to do is underline every number because it looks like it's important. In this case, it is. But be careful of what you're underlining. In this case, the numbers do matter. Starting with $50, each week after he deposits 15, each week he deposits 15. And how many weeks will he have saved $500? This is the thing that I'm going to put a little box around. In how many weeks will he? In how many weeks? That is the thing that we don't know. We don't know how many weeks, and that's okay because we call that a variable. Okay, so let's do this here. We've underlined key information. Define your variable. I'm going to get real creative. As a math teacher, I'm really into creativity. I'm going to pick a random letter. We're going to use, let's go with X. X, we've chosen our variable. What does our variable mean? Our variable is the number of weeks that would take him to save $500. The number of weeks it takes to save $500. The number of weeks. So now we've got this thing, we don't know. We got to write an equation. And if I'm talking about equations require an equal sign. That's why it's an equation. Okay. One of these sides is what we're trying to get to. In this case, we're trying to get to $500. Okay. On the other side is how we are getting there. Well, we start with 50. And this 50 doesn't depend on the number of weeks. This 50 is just what we start with. But each week, he adds 15. He adds $15 each week. Well, how many weeks is that, Mr. Brayman? Well, we don't know. But we do know because it's X. It's the thing we don't know that we're going to find out that we do know in the end because now we have a two-step equation. I can solve this two-step equation. If I need reminding, I'm going to write it again here. 50 plus 15x equals 500. If you want to write the do and undo steps, what is being done to x is first being multiplied by 15, and I would add 50 to that. So to undo, I would need to first subtract 50 and then divide by 15. Get a little line in between there. So if I do that, if I subtract 50 from both sides first, I get, well, this is 0. 50 minus 50 is 0. That's good. 0 plus 15x is just 15x. And 500 minus 50 is 450. We've taken care of the subtracting 50 from both sides. The next step says divide both sides by 15. And let's see, did I do this right? 15 divided by 15 is 1. Fantastic. On the left-hand side, I just have x. On the right-hand side, 450 divided by 15, I do believe is 30. Yay, 30, we're done, 30. 30 what? 30 what? Well, in this case, we actually have this. What does x represent? X means the number of weeks it takes to save $500. X is also 30. In other words, the answer I want here, it takes 30 what? 30 weeks to save $500. Oh, that looks weird. 500. There we go. This is the answer I'm looking for. And now we look at that fifth step. Reread the question. Does your answer make sense? Yeah. And we didn't get a negative number, right? It didn't take negative weeks. It didn't take 3,000 weeks. It also didn't take 1 week. That number makes sense. How would we check it? Well, we said x was 30. Let's plug it back in. The original equation was 50 plus 15x equals 500. So if I plug in this 30 for x, I should get out of this on this left side should be 500. They should be equal. So does this work? 50 plus 15 times 30. Ooh, my fives are struggling tonight. Does that equal 500? Well, let's see. 15 times 30, I do believe, is 450. 50 plus 450 does 500 equal 500. It sure does. And the answer makes sense in the context that we are given. Fantastic. Let's do 2 more of these. Okay. Alex rents a car for 1 day. The charge is $18 plus 12 cents per mile. Alex wants to spend exactly $30. How many miles can he drive? Pause. Well, I mean, hopefully you paused it and then, worked on some of this here. If not, pause it now, work on it, and then come back. It's that awkward time. Okay, let's do this thing. Underline important things. The numbers are important here. Well, in this case, rents a car for 1 day. That 1 day, that's not important. It's not important. This $18 is this charge of $18 and 12 cents per mile. Those are both very important. Wants to spend exactly $30. And here's that question mark. How many miles can he drive? So the thing we don't know, it's this guy right here. We don't know how many miles he can drive. The thing we don't know. That's going to be our variable. I'm going to get real creative this time. So instead of being an x, I'm going to draw the x I'll draw it the other way first. There we go. We'll use that as x. X is the number of miles. The number of miles he can drive. And spend exactly $30. Some of you might be saying, Mr. Brayman, why is this important? This is actually one of the most important things. This is more important, I would consider, than, I don't know, some of the calculations. This concept of, can you define what you don't know? So let's write our equation. Equation means equal sign. We got an equal sign in here. He's got to spend $30. Like that's our thing we're trying to get to, of 30. He's got this charge that's out there that doesn't depend on the number of miles driven. And just, that's what you start with. It's like your basic fee, right? And to that, he adds 12 cents per mile. Well, how many miles did he go? Oh, that's right. We call that X. There is our equation. 18 plus 12 hundredths x equals 30. Mr. Braman, what if I have written that 12 hundredths x plus 18 equals 30? Is that still the same? Yeah. Look at your terms. Is the 18 still positive? Sure is. Is the 12 hundredths x still positive? Sure is. That's how you can check. Let's solve this equation. If I'm going to solve this equation, you're going to tell me that I am going to start, well, let's write it out. And I would, what would I do? Yeah, you in the back, go ahead.
Subtract 18 from both sides.
Hey, great job. Person in the back that I'm imaginarily pointing to. Subtract 18 from both sides of the equal sign. That gives me 12 hundredths x equals 12. And then let's see, who else? Where's my next step? Yeah, go ahead, corner. Mr. Braman, you should divide both sides by 12 hundredths. I appreciate that. Well done. Well done. Divided by 12 hundredths. And this on the left-hand side, 12 hundredths divided by 12 hundredths is 1, or just 1x. And 12 divided by 12 hundredths, I think that's going to give me 100. Yay, 100. I know, early celebration. 100 what? What did X mean? Well, X says it's the number of miles he can drive and spend exactly $30, and X is also 100. So Alex can drive 100 miles to spend exactly $30. That is the important part. And you can absolutely check your stuff, right? If I plug 100 in to the original equation, 100 times 12 hundredths would be 12. 12 plus 18 sure is 30. As long as we've set up the equation correctly, that never actually makes sense. And we've talked about it, right? Does this make sense? Yeah, he's not traveling -3 miles. He's not traveling 1 mile. He's not traveling 1,000,000 miles. The number that we have makes sense in the context of what we're looking for right now. All right, number 3. Oh, number 3. On your own. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. So when you come back from pausing this video, I'm going to go through this in warp speed. Now I'm just going to go through it at normal speed. But go through the same steps that we just did. Underline the key information. Define your variable. Write the equation. Solve the equation. Check your answer. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, pause now. I don't hold very still. I tried. Okay, here we go. Katie wants to buy a bicycle that costs $129. This is $24 more than 3 times what she saved last month. How much did she save last month? Important things. Numbers that cost $129. $24 more, that's going to be interesting, than 3 times what she saved last month. Oh, and there's a question here. How much did she save last month? I'm going to make that my variable. We're going to get creative this time. We're going to, instead of using X, we're going to use X. No, I'm just kidding. We can use something else. Let's do B for bicycle. B is how much Katie saved last month. What are we going to do with that information? So we've done the first 2 steps, right? We underlined important information, and then we defined our variable. Now we need to write our equation. Our equation means an equal sign. She's trying to get to $129 because that's what the bike costs. This is the important part, another important part. It's all important, right? This is $24 more than 3 times what she saved last month. Okay, $24 more. If I have more than something, let's say I had 1 apple and you had 24 more apples than I did. you would have 25 apples. How would you get from 1 to 25? You add. More than indicates addition. 3 times, so 3 times indicates multiplication. So I've got 24 more than 3 times what she saved last month. Well, how much did she save last month? How much did Katie save last month? Oh, yeah, no, we don't know that. We called that B. B for bicycle. B for beats me. No, it just doesn't matter. It's just a placeholder. You could draw a little stick figure in there. It's okay. It's a representation. Now, we've underlined, we've defined, we've made our equation. Now, we need to solve that equation. If I do that, I would subtract 24 from both sides. I get 3b equals 105. If I divide both sides by 3, I get b equals 35. Remember, this simplifies to 1 or 1b. And 105 divided by 3 is 35. Yay, 35! Okay, b is 35. B is also how much Katie saved last month. Here is the answer. Katie saved $35 last month. There we go. You've got 7 more problems out there. Use these same steps to figure those out. Also, if you're having trouble with practice 1, that's okay. That's okay. Ask me questions, but also take this model and try it out there. Underline important information, define your variable, write the equation, solve the equation, check your solutions. All right, hope you guys have a great evening, great day, whatever time it is you're watching this, maybe 3 a.m. I don't know. If you can't get to sleep, sure you're probably watching me. Take care. Have a great day.